boom. Welcome back to the Quarter Pound Podcast. Host Seb and Gib. We're breaking down UFC on ESPN 3. It looks like I'm lagging on here. I hope I'm not lagging. I hope
should be good.
Okay,
yeah.
I hope it's not lagging. But yeah, UFC on ESPN 3, Jacare versus Hermansson. The Joker Hermansson taking a short notice fight against Jacare. Originally supposed to be Jacare versus Yoel. Yoel, I guess, got hurt or something, and apparently he's going to fight Paulo Costa now. But, man, I really like this card. I always say I like the card from top to bottom, but this one's really good.
You got a lot of new people mixed in with guys who are on their level as well, so you don't know what can happen in a lot of these.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I guess for a few of them. But, yeah, I guess we'll jump right into it today. We got to run through this, so we'll jump right into it. First fight of the night, we got Mcgee taking on Diego Lima. Didn't tape this fight too much, but from what I know, I think Mcgee has this fight. He's more of like a grinder kind of guy, very tough guy. I don't know if he's. Let me see his record super quick. I don't know if
he had a bit of a rough fight against Ben Saunders. To me, at least, when I was watching for this one.
Oh yeah, I remember that one too. Yeah, he's only been finished one time against Ponzinibbio, so he's a tough guy.
And Ponzinibbio is worth his salt, man.
Yeah. Diego Lima, on the other hand, was actually very impressed with him on UFC 231. I actually had, I think, 4 or 5 units on Chad Laprise to beat him, to beat Diego Lima. I just thought Laprise would knock him out. I thought Lima's very chinny, and he is. He is extremely chinny. This guy packs a lot of power, though.
He does. Those hooks that he throws.
And he's he trains with an unbelievable fighter, and his brother.
Trains with his brother.
His brother's unbelievable. Would make a severe impact in the UFC if he came to the UFC. I just think Court's going to be able, because we've seen Diego Lima struggle with his wrestling before as well. I think it was it Jesse Taylor who beat him? I think so, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Jesse Taylor and Yushin Okami.
Yeah, so Jesse and Yushin fucking showed
that was a bad fight for him, too.
They showed him on his back. He's just not
that was a very bad fight for him. You're
right. Court Mcgee has that capability to put you on your back and wrestle you and grind you out for all 3 rounds. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Court Mcgee here. Not super confident in the pick, but I do think he's tough enough to take some shots and get the takedown and win the fight.
Yeah. You know what? When I first started watching Court Mcgee, I didn't mind him. I like his kind of fake punch style. He throws lots of jabs, lots of feints, and knows exactly when to jump in and throw punches and blitz. The only problem is sometimes as he gets tired, he starts to stall a little bit too much, and he fakes a lot, almost like 5-6 times. And I think sometimes it gets a little familiar, and he gets clipped a lot. He had a fight against Ben Saunders that didn't exactly go his way. And Ben Saunders, don't get me wrong, he's got some pretty impressive stand-up when he gets the kicks going and when everything's working. But Ben Saunders doesn't normally get that way, and he gets walked through a lot. I felt like he kind of leans the pressure off of it, whereas Diego Lima, again, who I kind of thought that he would get outboxed by Chad Laprise, and he's a good stand-up fighter, but he took the fight right to Laprise and near the first 30 seconds of the rounds, and Chad Laprise looked good as always. He's always good boxing, but I mean, once he got clipped with that right hook that he came out with, it was pretty much nice. And I think even Diego Lima knew that he kind of tapped him lightly there. He's obviously been putting the sparring time in with his brother, and you know what, this guy, I think he's a pretty good boxer. He's got a pretty good popping left hand, and he upset Canada there. So I don't know. I think I'm leaning more to Diego Lima this time, and I think maybe he can put together something.
No, it's definitely possible, right?
Especially on the feet, but for sure, it doesn't have much experience on the floor. Got a few submissions early on in his career, but hasn't really gotten anything like that since, and mostly known as a stand-up guy. If Court Mcgee can kind of even him out. I'm sure he can get him to the floor, but I think Diego Lima might even end another one quick.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
So I think Diego Lima on that one, yeah.
Okie dokie. Yeah, so next one, Angela Hill versus Jodie Esquibel. Angela Hill is like a minus 600 favorite. I have no idea why. Like, would love somebody to explain to me why Angela Hill is minus 600 here.
She's 9,000 on DraftKings too.
Yeah, that's fucked
over
up.
9,000.
That's fucked up. Like, pretty much, if you put $100 on her, you win. I think
$1.
No, it's not that bad, but it's like
No, I'm joking.
It's you win $16, I think.
Oh, okay.
$18. That's pretty much what like the minus 600 means. Which is ridiculous. Like shouldn't be like you should win like way more than that on Angela Hill. Like she's nothing special, you know. I was actually thinking about putting at least like maybe a 0.2 units on Jodie Esquibel because fuck like by decision, by decision she's plus 800. That's fucking ridiculous. That's fucking. It makes me want to puke. Like that's fucked up and shit. Like no clue how. I know she's not good at all, but definitely should not be plus 800 by decision. Like I don't see her finishing.
Did you see anything good in her Karolina Kowalkiewicz fight?
No, I haven't seen anything good.
I saw like a front kick that maybe landed on her chest, but like I don't know.
I haven't seen anything good from Jodie Esquibel. She got tuned up by Jessica Aguilar, which was fucking embarrassing because Jessica Aguilar absolutely sucks. Like it's fucking horrible. She's 40 years old almost. Like unbelievable. Yeah. Like no clue what's going on over there.
Good for her. What do you mean? She's killing it. To 40? That's not bad.
She's like 36, but like still.
What's the shelf life of a UFC fighter in general? Come on.
Yeah, like she's almost there pretty much. Yeah, like this girl's horrible. She's lost to Alex Chambers and shit. Like Jodie Esquibel, like that's fucking bad, bro. Like, holy shit, man. Do you have any good wins whatsoever? Like, Deanna Bennett's absolutely horrible. So
that was a splitty,
and it's a split too. Like, not absolutely terrible. Like this girl is. Like, I don't think I would pick her. Maybe the 0.2 units if I'm gonna tape it more tonight, but I don't think so. She's pretty horrible. I think Angela Hill is gonna coast to a decision here. I actually have the fight goes to decision, so I think it's going to go all 3 rounds to I have that in a 3-unit parlay with a few things later in the card. Yeah, but I got Angela Hill here. How would you give?
You know what? I wanted Angela Hill to win her last fight against Ronda Marcos, but that fight went absolutely terrible. And on DraftKings, she got me 1 point exactly, just off of the one shot landed, I think, or something. And it was crazy. But some people have been in fights like in the Russia card that happened just a week ago who got 0.5 or lower. Crazy. So like, you know, a lot of these fights end real early, and I don't think this fight's gonna end that early, but I don't know. I think when Angela Hill is to get someone who wants to stand with her and wants to strike and kind of hovers around, she'll definitely kickbox him to death. And I think she could do that to Jodie Esquibel, similar to Kowalkiewicz, but she might have to watch out for some of the front kicks that she does do. She tries to stay pretty close and tries to throw punches over the top, but at the same time, she is a bit short, so she's got a very low stature, low to the ground. I'm sure she can go for a takedown or something like that, but it kind of resorts to looking around and locking up. I think if Angela Hill locks up with her and maybe goes into her tie clinches and elbows, she can beat her up, but she's got to watch out for some of her disengaging kind of moves that she does, like the front kick or kind of the big swipe across the top. So never know. I got Angela Hill anyway. I think she can out kickbox her for sure, and probably get a good win, in after her 2 losses. So yeah, I got Angela Hill in that.
Okay, cool. Next up, we got Jim Miller and Jason Gonzalez. Jim Miller is coming off that. No, it's coming off Charles Oliveira.
No, he lost to Oliveira.
Yeah. Easy fight for Oliveira. That was. Jim Miller. See, I always like Jim Miller because he's a grinder too.
Yeah.
Fucking like an Iron Man, you know. And the guy had Lyme disease. fucking really bad like cardio for, and he's getting way better. Like not way better, but he's getting a little bit better. I think.
Have you seen his Anthony Pettis fight?
Oh yeah,
really good, really entertaining fight.
Go watch his fight against Dustin Poirier, bro.
Yeah, that is a really good fight.
Like Pettis, like he got fucked up against Pettis in my opinion, but like Poirier, like bro, he almost finished Poirier with leg kicks. Like if that was one more round, even Poirier said if that was one more round, my leg would have been gone. I think that win he got off Alex White was pretty big.
Yeah, I didn't have him in that one.
Thing is, I can see Jim Miller fucking retiring soon. Maybe even this fight. He's pretty much at the end of his career, going against a guy named Jason Gonzales, who actually like his last fight was almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago against Gregor Gillespie. Looks pretty good against Gillespie, like fucking, and it's hard to look like he didn't look pretty good, but you know what I mean, like fucking defended some takedowns, was striking on the feet pretty well. Didn't look all that bad against a guy like Gregor Gillespie, who's like a fucking animal in that division. Ended up getting choked out, but like I said, man, it's Gregor Gillespie, like nothing to be ashamed of. Lots of finishes on this guy's record. He's a finisher for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think Jason Gonzalez might be able to get this done, and he's the underdog, so I don't know. I don't know if it's worth a play, but I do think Jason Gonzalez has what it takes to win this fight. We've seen him defend some takedowns against Gregor, and wasn't so easy for Gillespie to get him down. I think Jim Miller might have some problems, and on the feet, I think Jason's way better too. So I'm gonna go with Gonzalez here.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff I saw in that Gregor Gillespie fight, especially the high kicks and uppercut combos that Jason Gonzalez was throwing out there, and especially to Gregor Gillespie, because when he goes for that takedown, he almost knew that he had the advantage right away. But Gonzalez hustled his way back up, iron shot a lot of his punches and ate up some damage, but slugged back and actually started to win some of the striking exchanges in the first round. A great first round, actually, just because you get to see both of their kind of combos when they're in trouble. You get to see kind of what their reaction time is, and the amount of consistency that he had getting back up, I think, is what you want to see, especially going against Jim Miller, who, when he got Alex White down, just didn't have much fight and was able to put a submission on him really quick. And I definitely pat Jim Miller on the back for killing it, staying in there, because he was on a 4-fight losing streak before the Alex White fight, and went right into a fight with Charles Oliveira. Still, like, he definitely could have grabbed that win. I mean, I don't think I had him in that fight, but I mean, things happen and it falls into his lap, and he definitely doesn't flinch. He goes for it. I saw a really impressive Anthony Pettis fight on the ground. It's just a back and forth exchange, and you already know that Anthony Pettis is deadly both standing and on the ground. And to see that fight go real late in the card. Now, Anthony Pettis did have a pretty good advantage and was out striking him in a way, but Jim Miller definitely roughed him up on the ground a bit and even had some moments in the striking. So, Jason Gonzalez has to be on his game for sure on the ground, and he really has to work to get up, because Gregor Gillespie fucked him up there. But at the same time, I still think the kicks he throws, the left uppercut that downed Gillespie twice, is still going to be there, and it's a good thing that he had that rest. And yeah, I think it'll be a pretty easy fight for him. But man, Jim Miller always kind of has it, so you never know what can happen. I still think Jason Gonzalez destroys him, though. I think he might even get a knockout.
Yeah, definitely a possibility.
Again, one of Jim Miller's possibly few fights.
Just 1 second. Okay, sorry guys. Next up we got Gilbert Burns. Derino, I love Derino. Fighting Mike Beast Boy Davis. Got Derino here in a 0.8 unit parlay. Pretty like it's actually one of my favorite parlays of the year. I think got a lot of like cool guys on here. I just think it's gonna hit, and I have to. A lot of you guys will hate on me for like not playing the fight straight, but man, I don't know. I think this is a really good combination. I had to play for the parlay, and it's like plus 409, so I had to. Yeah, I thought it was really good fucking odds. So I got Gilbert Burns here, 100%. Not more to say, bro. This guy's second degree black belt. One of the most high level jiu-jitsu players in the UFC, maybe in MMA.
So surprising.
Really good on his feet now too. Now that he's been training with Henry Hooft for a while now, fucking you go watch him against Aubin Mercia, and he's landing flying knees on the feet, fucking heavy
That's
overhands.
A hometown boy too.
Yeah, and Derino really fucked him up in that fight. Derino's also taken down every single person he's been inside the octagon with at least one time. Every person. And that's including the Dan Hooker fight where he got knocked out. He still took Dan Hooker down. Like I'm saying, man, he's just very high level jiu-jitsu. This guy gets on top of you, it's pretty much game fucking over. Especially a guy against a guy like Mike Beast Boy Davis. We haven't seen him too much on his back at all, if at any time. But the kid's got some good striking. I won't lie about that. He's got some heavy hands, some good striking, but he got tuned up pretty badly against Sadiq. It was a good fight, but Sadiq fucked him up in that first round, and that third round as well, dropping him a couple of times. I just think Gilbert's going to be too much. Like, Davis is originally a 145-pounder. He took this on a week's notice, fighting Gilbert Burns, who's like, I think he was going to fight Gilbert Burns. I think he was scheduled to fight someone. Yeah, he was scheduled to fight a guy named Eric Wisely.
Oh.
Wisely had to pull out. He was another newcomer, which I don't know why the fuck.
Wow, 33-9. That's crazy.
Who?
This guy who's supposed to fight.
Oh, yeah, Wisely.
That would have been a cool one.
Yeah, I think Gilbert would have taken that too, but like I'm saying, man, Derino is just so high level with his jiu-jitsu. This is a guy who's competed against Gary Tonin, who's competed against Gregor Gracie. Like, list goes on, like high level jiu-jitsu. Like you guys have, if you guys don't grapple at all, you won't know like the very subtle things he does on top, and his very like active off the bottom as well, man. Like going for triangles, sweeps. If he's ever on the bottom, that's what he's trying to do. If you go check his jiu-jitsu matches as well. A guy's just high level in my opinion. Now that his striking's coming together, I think he's fucking very dangerous, man. You gotta watch out for this guy. He loses
to like top level jiu-jitsu guys too.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for this guy. He's gonna be making a name for himself in the meantime very soon, even though he already has. I think he's gonna get bigger and bigger. Just the addition of his hands becoming so much crisper and his striking just looking way better. And he's not afraid to fucking bang with you. Like he'll bang it out on the feet if you really want to. He's like falling in love with his hands. So that's something I don't like. I would rather him use the takedowns a little more often. But yeah, man, I think he's gonna be able to get Mike Davis down and sub him. So I got Gilbert Burns here in a 0.8 unit parlay.
The one thing I noticed about Mike Davis is his hands are still pretty dangerous. And when he gets people to those moments where both people are throwing punches and he goes with the hooks, constant like right and left hook combos, both head or body, and then goes back to the jab and then throws one of those hooks again, he can really start to dizzy people and they don't know where his punches are coming from. And as rounds build up, I can see this guy landing crushing punches all fight long. Again, against somebody like Gilbert Burns, he's gonna have to deal with the ground, which it's no contest there. But there were some exchanges in his fight where he would kind of, in some of his fights where he would throw those hooks, and a lot of fighters were ready to contest with him or throw straight shots, and he would duck down and go right for a wrestling takedown, like a double leg or something. And I think it'll be difficult to get Gilbert Burns in those types of scenarios, but I think that might be a good go-to for him if he does get in trouble and start to throw. Like you said, if Gilbert Burns gets a little too happy with his hands, I think he can get beaten up in this fight. Mike Davis is still really, really quick. And I thought the Dana White fight was a very entertaining fight and a rough fight to win in general. That's a very tough fight to win because I think both fighters
He was a big favorite. He was at -300. He was a big favorite in that fight.
But both fighters were still tough and tuned at on the day of, because both had a really good time. You can't argue that either of them kind of flinched. You know what I mean? Everyone both got their shots in. But again, Gilbert Burns on the ground, shit. He only really loses to top guys like Michael Pizares, Dan Hooker, obviously a very high level striker who's going to have his hands down and beat people up. But I think when Mike Davis gets his hands up, I don't think he'll know if Gilbert Burns is shooting for a takedown to get him on the floor, or if he's going to actually resort to the boxing. And I think that constant switch that Gilbert Burns has is just gonna be there in Mike Davis's face all night, and it'll be a little bit too much for him. Once it goes to the floor, he can go for arm bars, chokes. You set up the back, flip you over, and when he starts punching as well, kind of from the back to get more positions, you're pretty much screwed. If you get there at 3 minutes, you're gonna be you're not gonna be fighting him off for a minute because he's getting what he wants, and then a mount, and you're dead. So I don't know. I think Mike Davis might lose on the ground, but I think he always has that one standing shot. Still, kind of a tough match on the striking, but I got Gilbert Burns all around.
Okay.
Better fighter overall.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, Carlos Esparza taking on Virna Jandiroba. Bro, no clue. Jandiroba is only -1. I guess because it's her first fight, but high level black belt, fucking high level. Like beat Claudia Gadelha in the Mundials, bro, and pretty much the biggest jiu-jitsu tournament in Brazil. She beat her. I don't know if she subbed her, but she beat her, and she's been making a name for herself in Invicta. Something about her, man, she's just a really good wrestler, especially for a jiu-jitsu player. You don't really see takedowns like that where she's going for a double, then she'll switch to the single, then back to the double. It's it's very good, man. It's wow, high fucking level, man. High fucking level wrestling. And I was super impressed with that. And she's not huge or anything, and she's very strong. When she's on top of you, it's game over. She's cutting through your guard like butter. It's fucked up, bro. She's very nasty when she's on top. And Carlos Esparza, not very active when she's on the bottom. She'll go for an arm bar if you're in her guard. But as soon as you get to her half guard or her side control, especially mount or anything, she really has no idea what to do. I think Virna's going to be trying to take this fight to the floor. And Carla's going to be probably keep it standing because she's probably the better striker of the two. But I think Jandiroba is just going to be able to get her to the floor a few times in this fight. Maybe sub her. But if not, I think she gets the win for sure. So I got Jandiroba here and the point unit parlay with Gilbert Burns and two more fighters. I got Gilbert Burns, Virna Jandiroba, Rory McDonald, because we're not going to talk about him, so I might as well just say I have Rory McDonald, and then I have one more later in the card. Cool. So who do you got, Gib?
Well, I got to go with Virna Jandiroba just because her arm bars are super deadly, man. I saw one of her Invicta fights against Teixeira, just destroyed her arm. Amy Montenegro destroyed her arm on the first round. If she gets you, it's dead to rights, man.
Yeah, man.
I am a little worried about the striking, like you said. Carlos Esparza tends to run in with punches, and I mean they might not work all the time, but she really gets a good few in. And if you're backing up constantly and she misses that first one, she might hit you with the second and third, which could be the punches with a little bit more and more effort put in. And when Carla Esparza starts landing those shots, she can start planning where she can go for the takedown. Now, I don't think it'll be easy for her to get one here, but when she gets takedowns, she tends to get another one almost instantly right when the fight gets back up. And that's what you have to watch out for, because she's hunting for it instantly. She's not going for a punch, and she might throw the jab or like a few fakes out there, but I mean, she's jumping for the wrestling, and she might go for the takedown. And the problem is she might chain them together and just keep taking people down and wrestling. But again, it's a little difficult to do if if she's going to be contested. And I think sometimes she's got to. Jandiroba doesn't use the jab as often as she should, but I still think she has a chance in the striking. Carla Esparza's never been extremely impressive at it. I mean, she still crumbles against the higher level Joannas or any sort of like striker worth it who's gonna.
Tatiana Suarez made her bitch. Like that was fucking. Oh my god, that was unbelievable to watch.
She got a split decision against Claudia Gadelha, which was still pretty big, but
Gadelha ragdolled her too, though.
Yeah, you still got ragdolled for a while,
but she's like against Suarez, like that was fucked up. Like Suarez, fucked her up.
Yeah, but Jandiroba has to be really careful that when she starts to finish, she has to end it, because if you leave this chick alone for a minute and like you leave her alive, she'll start to get something. She'll get a leg, start to get you off balance, and I think that's where she gets these split decisions. And so
I'm literally not worried at all if she.
I don't know, but
Jandiroba is very dangerous off her back.
Jandiroba, but for the counter for maybe the counter jiu-jitsu and maybe to put her in an arm bar or something. I'd want to see another one of those. Like,
I think Carla only has the striking here. Like, definitely not the wrestling. 150% not the wrestling.
Yeah.
I
got Jandiroba.
Okie dokie. Next up, absolutely running through this one, Arlovski versus Gusto Sakai. I really hope there's a knockout in this fight, because I can't watch it.
There's going to be. Sakai is crazy.
He's fucking garbage, but
he is. But does he not like collect people as they're walking backwards, like the guy on the Dana White?
Oh yeah,
like holy,
he can clap, bro.
He knew there's no way that kid before fighting was like, yeah, he's gonna come out like that. You know what I mean? He thought he was gonna chill or like be very like passive. This guy got a split decision against Cheick Kongo though.
Bad fight. That didn't deserve his split decision. Should have been unanimous. He got wrestle fucked. I'm looking at Arlovski's fucking record, and he's been horrible since like 2016.
That's true,
bro. Like, but look who he's lost to, right? Like fucking Stipe.
He fucked up Albini, didn't he?
Alistair Overeem, he beat Albini. Lost to Josh Barnett. Francis Ngannou, Marcin Tybura, Tai Tuivasa. The only one I think he should have won, maybe not even, the Shamil Abdurrahimov fight. That was a close fight, man. But then Walt Harris, another one.
That Tybura fight right now.
What?
I feel like he should have won that Tybura fight right now after last week.
Oh yeah, fuck. Tybura did not.
Oh my god.
I just think Arlovski's a better striker, standing, right? Sakai is really like passive aggressive, doesn't throw a lot. When he does throw, like Gib was saying, he throws some heavy bombs, bro. You better believe that. And he's got some pretty nasty top game, but off his back, he's absolutely fucking horrible. He doesn't move or anything off his back. It's really bad. Yeah. Looked all right against Sherman. Nothing fucking special, bro. Like, Chase Sherman's garbage. Like, should have definitely, like, done some more work on him. But I think I had Sakai in that fight, too. Because, like, I just fucking always fade Sherman. I think Arlovski is going to win this fight, though. I think the boxing of Arlovski is going to be a big thing. Sakai does not have that striking like Arlovski has. And Arlovski is just a straight-up vet, right? He's been through fucking wars with literally everyone on the roster who's like a top name, bro. He's fought everyone. And I think the experience is going to play a factor as well. he's actually adding some takedowns into his game as of recently against like Albini and Stefan Struve. He landed like 2 or 3 fucking takedowns. I've never seen him land one.
Right, that's how he won that one. I didn't think he'd win that.
Never
I thought he'd go right back to losing after Albini, to be honest.
Yeah, but so did I. I thought Struve would have taken care of him. Because Struve on his best day, like we've seen him beat Stipe Miocic, bro. You know what I mean? Like he's fucking legit too. Like you guys could say whatever you want about Stefan Struve. This guy on his best day, if he has his head right, you're fucked up, bro. Like good luck with that. Like fucking, he's nasty, Stefan Struve. A little bit chinny though for a big guy. Yeah, I got Arlovski here.
Yeah, this is Augusto Sakai guy. I don't mind him, so I'm actually gonna go all in on him because man, he throws some bombs. I just think Marcos Condrado Jr. really should have won that fight. He had all wins going in, all like first round knockouts, just destroying people. Sakai, I mean, he kind of looks a little bit awkward, a lot of low hands, and Cheick Kongo, a guy who's had lots of fights in both the UFC and outside of it, was able to kind of vet him out, which I don't think is outside the realm for Andrei Arlovski to do because he's done it against Albini, done it against a lot of fighters who probably should have beaten him, Stefan Struve, and have made a lot of fights kind of close. Had a split decision against Walt Harris, even though he lost that one still. I'm sure getting tired is still a big thing in this in the rounds for him, especially when it hits the midway point of the second. But his sambo and kind of wrestling and boxing kind of style, it does work for him, man. If he blitzes forward and gets it while you're standing like a statue, you can get beaten up. And Sakai already has kind of low hands, so if he's going to be standing still, it'll be a real difficult night for him if Andre wraps him up and drops him. Again, like I think there's not much to Sakai. He's looking to either kind of ground pound you or look for some really big over-the-top punch. He doesn't care about his style, just kind of throws whatever he wants out there. And that could definitely get him in trouble. But I also think that can kind of just get him a win in like the first 30 seconds. Or they just start brawling. I think this fight could be decent. And I kind of hope Sakai gets it. So, yeah, I got Augusto Sakai in this one.
All right. Next up, final prelim of the night, Ben Saunders taking on Takashi Sato. Originally, I was going to play Takashi Sato. I just thought he kind of got fucked up against Glyco Franca. Franca, when he choked him out and everything. So I can literally, and he gets taken down pretty damn easily. I can see Ben Saunders having some success with that. And Ben Saunders is pretty aggressive off the beginning with his body kicks, his Muay Thai, you know. And I've seen Takashi Sato get clipped fucking hard against Matt Vale. He got clipped fucking heavy, and he got knocked out before too. In Pancrase, but his last fight, he got clipped, bro. He almost got finished in that fight by Matt Vale. Matt Vale fucking clipped him hard, and he got dropped, and he ended up winning. Actually, he was taking the ground pound, fucking took down Matt Vale. I think in the second, turned the tide, and fucking crazy fight, bro. You should actually watch that fight, eh? The Glyco Franco one's insane too. Like he almost it's just back and forth like crazy, bro. Like fucking, he drops Glyco Franco. It looks like Franco's like pretty much done. Like he's taking a beating from the top, and he gets out of it, and then he takes down Takashi Sato and fucking chokes him out. That's like unreal. I was like, wow, that's impressive. But this Sato kid's got some pop in his punches. Going against a guy like Ben Saunders who's been knocked out. Like I think I told you this like a day or two ago. He's been knocked out, I think 7 times. 7 or 8 times, I don't know. Which is fucking horrible, right? Like if you've been knocked out 8 times, bro, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Your chin's definitely compromised, bro. 100%. And you see it now, like when he gets tapped on the chin, like when he was fighting Lyman Good, bro, Lyman Good hit him the first time and he got clipped heavy. He was like, oh fuck, this is legit. And then he took the uppercut from Lyman Good and he was knocked out fucking cold. Knocked out cold. Like, no clue how you come back from that one, too. Like, that was a bad knockout, bro. Yeah, I got Takashi Sato here. I think Sato's just going to land a big shot, knock out Saunders. But don't get me wrong here. I think Saunders can cause a lot of problems for Sato, too. Especially if he goes into Saunders' guard. Saunders 10th planet black belt, man. So fucking, you got to watch out from his guard and shit. He's actually got a very nasty high guard, rubber guard. But yeah, I got Takashi Sato here. Gib?
You know what? I was thinking about putting on Ben Saunders just because of the jiu-jitsu, super high level. But at the same time, I mean, this guy doesn't, this guy gets him as well. He got sleeper choked before and punched out. But again, he has very impressive fights. And, he's gotten arm triangles before. He's gotten the chokes. I don't know, man. It's his first time in the UFC. Could be a tough fight for him. He definitely has super quickness in his step, and Ben Saunders is definitely losing a lot of pace with his stand-up. Has very, very tough fights. Again, a lot of his fights tend to not go his way. I mean, even though Mcgee he did well against and really put pressure on him, I felt like Mcgee really gave him lots of time to wait and recover, whereas I think Sato is going to be going for it and really rushing it, which are the opponents that Ben Saunders just doesn't like to play against, because again, they disrupt him and he's really looking to stay far away from you, throw lots of leg kicks, throw lots of body kicks. And with a guy like Eddie Bravo in his corner, I mean, you have a very good a good safety in your jiu-jitsu game as well, and knowing that off your back you're going to be able to perform for sure. And I don't see it impossible for Ben Saunders to snake one here just by submission alone. But he's going to take a lot of shots early. He tends to have his hands low, or if he does throw jabs and kicks in combination to each other, they take a while to come back. And I think it'll be easy pickings for Sato, just how fast he is. And, he can really pick the punches and knees that he throws. And, a lot of it is his short shots, like elbows tend to get involved as well. If he throws anything crazy, I still think he can hit Ben Saunders, but it just matters if Ben Saunders can hold it together for his ground game, which, again, I mean, Sato could defend. It'll just be a little difficult for him. Whereas, I've seen Ben Saunders get some pretty nice triangle chokes. I've seen Ben Saunders compete in some jiu-jitsu competitions outside of the UFC. Got an omoplata. Like, a lot of people look at a lot of these guys in the UFC as high dudes going to tournaments, and they're also killing it in MMA, whereas a lot of guys can only really get string a few wins together before they walk into the ring, or the octagon with a really good striker, and it tends to all go away, whereas Ben Saunders has kind of been able to keep it together. I definitely see where Sato can win this, but I kind of want to see Ben Saunders snake this with a submission. He's lost his last two, and I definitely think he could get finished, but I'm looking for a submission like Hail Mary here, like another Paul Craig moment. So, yeah, I think Ben Saunders can get it.
All right.
Again, they really got to stop repeating nicknames. I never knew he was Killer B.
Who else is Killer B?
What's his name? Killer B Davis, right?
Who?
Brandon Davis.
Oh,
Isn't it Killer B?
I think you're right. I think he is Killer B too.
Yeah, man, we gotta stop repeating these ring names.
Fuck, now I gotta look at that. I think he is Killer B,
right?
Yeah.
I actually just looked up Ben Saunders, like, oh no way.
Yeah, I'm almost positive he is Killer B. That's fucked. I just took that in. Okay, so we're at the main card now, and first up on the main card, definitely my top 5 for favorite.
Roosevelt.
Favorite prospects to watch right now. Roosevelt's on there. Roosevelt's on there. Top 5 for me. Number 1, I like. Obviously, you guys know I love. I wouldn't say he's a prospect anymore, but I love Volkanovski. There's a bunch of guys. I can't go to the top of my head, but he's definitely in the top 5. Kid's fucking legit, man. Like, unreal. Like, when I first saw him on the Contender Series, I didn't bet him because there's no tape on him whatsoever. He's fought on this promotion CXF or whatever, Cali Kings, and they just don't have any fucking tape. They have no tape. So the first time I saw him was in that Contender Series fight, and he looked fucking unbelievable. I was like, wow, this guy's really good, man. Like, he just does everything so well. His wrestling is like so well suited for MMA. It's unbelievable. His submissions, he's constantly attacking submissions, always going for your neck, always. That's what he's looking for 24/7. If you're standing with him, he's looking for your neck against the cage. If you're on the floor, he's looking for your neck. He's always looking for your neck, man. And his striking is really good, man. He's got some heavy fucking hands, bro.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Gross in trouble. Garrett Gross? Jeez.
Yeah, man. Roosevelt, too, is a big savage, bro. You guys don't understand, but he's from the hood. Like, straight from the hood, bro. And I think he lives in Cali right now, but he's from Florida. So this is a hometown fight for him. He's from, where is he from in Florida? I don't know at the top of my head. But I know he's from Florida, the 954, whatever that means. But he's from there. So this is like a hometown fight for him. Very impressive. And then against Daryl Horcher, that guillotine was one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen somebody get put in a guillotine like that in my life. Daryl Horcher was horizontal against the cage, buddy. Like, horizontal against the cage. Like, I've never seen that happen in my life. Like, that's
crazy angle, too.
Oh, my God, bro. And, like, fucking...
What a neck crank.
Hi, Jack. Yeah. I wasn't... No, I don't think it was neck crank, right? It was more of a guillotine. Neck crank, his head would have been like this.
No, like it's still, I mean, a crank on your neck when you're getting.
Yeah, it was kind of a crank, yeah.
Especially.
Yeah. So he's fighting this guy Thomas Gifford, and bro, when I say horrible, like I usually call guys horrible and shit, but this guy's really fucking bad. Like he's got a decent stand up, right? Like pretty decent stand up.
He's got a guillotine too, though.
He's got a nasty guillotine. I'll give him that. Kid's got a nasty guillotine. I don't like what he does with his guillotine. How he goes into the body triangle off the guillotine. I think some guys are nasty with it, but I don't think that's like very high level. Like some guys can put. It's not something too wrong with it. It's just like the way I was taught to do a guillotine. I was never taught to get that body triangle on like that. Especially if you need to readjust or anything like that, you're kind of stuck there. Kind of stuck, but he just goes for the guillotine. He's just like he'll get taken down just to go for the guillotine, which is fucking horrible. If you're doing that in MMA, bro, you got to get it together. Like, you can't be doing that in the UFC over a jumping guillotine. You can't jump guillotine.
You fought the same dude twice and got him in a guillotine.
That was embarrassing.
That was
like, I didn't even want to watch those fights. That was fucking embarrassing. And then, like, he's got the worst hair I've ever seen in my life. Like, no clue what he's trying to. Embarrassing hair. It looks like he's fucking...
It goes down to hair now.
Embarrassing that guy is. And then, like, he like I said, he just gets taken down to go for this guillotine. Really bad takedown defense. Really bad. And, this was my favorite part. You go watch the Brian Whitaker fight. If that doesn't make you want to take Roosevelt Roberts, like, no clue what to tell you. Because, like, Thomas Gifford in that fight was so embarrassing. He was doing stuff that there's no way any jiu-jitsu or grappling coach ever taught him that stuff. No, unless they're the stupidest people in the whole world. But the stuff he was doing, he was like, I don't know how to fucking explain this, bro. He was going for like a closed guard, like on his stomach. Like, I don't know what the fuck they call that. No clue what to call that. He put his legs backwards like this, and then he grabbed them. Like, where the fuck are you going with that, bro? Are you trying to sweep? Are you going for a leg? What are you doing, bro? What is that for? I don't understand. You're just keeping him there. And then you're giving up, like, no clue what this Whitaker guy's doing too. He could have easily taken his back. Like, that was 2 seconds away. Oh, the guy's fucking like this right in front of you in pretty much doggy style position, and you have him right in front of you, and you're not even gonna take his back. Like, that was horrible, bro. Like, that guy, this guy's gonna get fucking ragdolled by Roosevelt Roberts, bro. Roosevelt Roberts is gonna make this guy's bitch. So I got Roberts all day, bro. I have him in the I got him in the 3-unit parlay with Oh, I didn't even say. Oh yeah, I did. I got him in the 3-unit parlay with Angela Hill and Jodie Esquibel to go to decision. And then two other things in the card, but Yeah, as you guys just noticed, I'm fucking very high on Roosevelt Roberts. I'm telling you, bro, this kid's legit, bro. You guys got to watch out for him. Very legit. Very, and huge, bro. He's like 6'2", 155 pounds, bro. He's big, man. He's big. All right. Get
You did call it on Thomas Gifford. The repeat fight with Trey Ogden was a bit much, especially seeing as like I thought he beat him pretty completely.
Bro, he beat him the exact same way. That's fucked.
No, exactly.
Did that guy not train?
The exact first time they fought, it was like, all right, well, that I'm pretty sure that would happen again. And then sure enough, like you said, shit, man. I don't know.
Like, how do you not train? Like, if somebody tapped me over to guillotine, when I rematch them, the first thing I'm avoiding, not the first thing, the thing I'm always avoiding is the guillotine. The fucking, you even do the same takedown that got you into the guillotine from the first time? Like, are you stupid?
It seems like they really tried to bring this kid in the UFC just because the first guy he fights was Chris Brown, not the singer, but I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Breeze and the future Chris Brown, who again he's just starting off. He had about 4 fights, had 4 previous amateur fights, and he's fighting under Jackson Wink. But come on, man, like that was your last win, and it was a split decision. You didn't even get the guillotine there.
How the fuck did that? But how did he get signed? How did he? Because he's had
off of that split decision. Must have been.
This guy has This guy has literally a horrible record, eh? He was like,
it must have been their fight of the night.
Like before he started winning, he was like 12-7, I think, and then he went on like a 5-fight winning streak. But yeah, fucking no clue. Like usually a guy who wins a split decision, who has a terrible record like this, is not the guys that UFC likes to sign usually.
No. Roosevelt Roberts might have the guillotine too, and like I understand,
way better sub skills, way better.
But he has other shit that goes along with it. Like his stand up is ferocious. When he puts people sideways and slams them or takes them from the side, he looks skinny. He doesn't look like a big 155er, bro. He's tall. He's skinny, and then he's so tough. He's so strong, bro. And
he's so strong.
I feel like the one thing that Roosevelt Roberts does before his guillotine that makes it automatically better is his overhooks. Once you get these overhooks on you, it's over. Like his weight goes on, and it gets real difficult. People get locked down, and then he can start climbing you. And he gets the guillotine. It just seems a lot more prepared. Whereas a lot of the people, going up against Thomas Gifford, almost tended to fall into it accidentally, or almost kind of gently breeze into his way. I don't know. I think Roosevelt Roberts can even start him on the feet, but it'll have to be a really, really good night for Thomas Gifford to get this.
Oh yeah,
I think it's a setup for Roberts, to be honest.
Oh, 100% it is, man. 150% is yeah, he is. Wow. Okay, so our next fight, you got Roberts, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Roosevelt Roberts for sure.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Looks like we're both on Roberts then. Next fight is a fight I'm really looking forward to, man. John Hands of Stone Lineker versus Corey Sandhagen. Lineker is like has to be one of your favorite fighters, Like everybody loves Lineker, bro. You can't not like Lineker. The guy brings.
I think he does everything that fans like the armchair quarterbacks yell. Body shots, hands up.
Move forward.
Hand again. Like he's doing all of that while the guys who are drinking beer are saying it, and they're all like, "Yeah, I told him to do that."
Yeah, they fucking love this guy, and he's just a little monster, 5'3". Yeah. Guy's like a Tasmanian fucking devil. Doesn't stop coming forward. Never stops coming forward. Literally, I've never seen this guy stop coming forward. And the only way you can really beat Lineker is with wrestling and movement. You need a lot of movement. A ton of movement. I think John Dodson beat him, right? Did Dodson beat him?
Dodson beats a lot of people that way. But he got beaten up a lot. And
Dodson didn't beat him.
Body shots.
Dodson didn't. No, Dodson.
Oh, he didn't beat him? I thought he just ran around.
It was a split. I remember that in Lineker won.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So he walked away.
I remember that.
All right.
I remember that now. That was
I thought he won it.
That was a main event, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 5-minute rounds. Main event.
Oh, wow.
Last
you're right.
fight,
yeah, I thought he won that one. You're okay. Yeah, go ahead.
The time we kind of saw him get exposed was against Dillashaw, and Dillashaw, it's funny because Corey Sandhagen is a lot like TJ Dillashaw. If there's one guy I have to say like Corey Sandhagen's like, it's Dillashaw. The movement, obviously nobody has the movement like fucking Dillashaw. Everybody knows that. And but you want to talk about like the striking. Almost, I wouldn't say he's on Dillashaw's level. We know Dillashaw, like another guy like Dillashaw is very unreal, even with the EPO, like fucking. But he's unreal, or was unreal, right? And but Sandhagen's got some legit striking. He's long, big for 135, and he's actually a good grappler. If he chooses to grapple against Lineker, he can very well win this fight, 100%.
Oh yeah.
But this is the biggest competition he's faced ever. Corey Sandhagen's never faced anybody like Lineker, even though this was a scheduled fight not too long ago. It's a fight I've been looking forward to ever since they announced it the first time and it got scratched. And Sandhagen had to fight Mario Batista and he ended up fucking him up. Now we get to see what level Corey Sandhagen's on, because I've been on this kid since he came to the UFC against Austin Arnett. I was like, okay, he's very legit, this guy. Lineker, on the other hand, just finished Brian Kelleher. Knockout in the third round there, and bro, Lineker can literally knock out anyone. It doesn't fucking matter who you are. Like, Lineker can more than knock you out. Yeah. So if this stays standing, it's gonna be a close fight, man. It might be another split. Like, because Sandhagen's not the type of guy who's gonna get into a brawl with you. He's not gonna just stand there and bang it out. He's gonna move around, use his movement and his kicks and his range and all that shit. And Lineker's the type of guy who just really wants to get in your face and brawl. But like I said, when he was taken down the few times and fucked up with movement, I'm pretty sure he was taken down. Or was that a Sun Cell? I'm almost positive it was Lineker against TJ Dillashaw. But I think TJ took him down a couple times and just like nullified his power on the ground like that. You know, you can't be throwing knockout punches from your back. So I think Sandhagen might be able to control that. So I actually got Corey Sandhagen here. I'm not confident at all in this pick. I think this fight's going to be a fucking barn burner. Could be fight of the night. And I'm looking forward to it. So I got no bet on this fight, but I am picking Corey Sandhagen. I do think, like, don't get me wrong, bro. Like, plus money's plus money, right? Like, if he's an underdog, that's good. But I think he should be bigger than plus 115. Like, I think he should almost be closer to plus 200, man. And that's when I would play him. Because Lineker's top dog, and we've never seen Sandhagen against anyone, bro. Like,
this is toughest competition.
Yeah, man.
Technically,
yeah. Like, what's his toughest before this was Alcantara, yeah.
But in terms of like him against Lineker, you know what I mean? It's not even a contest.
Yeah. So I got Sandhagen here. Gib, how about you?
You know what? Corey Sandhagen impresses me. The flying shots, staying right in people's face and throwing spinning stuff, uppercuts, and finishing both Arnett with like nasty pressure, as well as like Yuri Alcantara kind of weathering a storm, because he got hit a few times and then he went tank berserk and just went crazy. Almost got armbarred. He just did well, man. And when he got the ground pound, he finished them off. Whereas, John Lineker, that John Dodson fight, which we were just talking about, I kind of went to a highlight video, and I could see why he won that slightly. For some reason, I thought that Dodson may have ran away with it, but there are some shots that Dodson's walking backwards from that he actually gets hit with. And I guess I didn't see it until I watched this highlight video, but I'm like, you see a few shots that land that Lineker, that Dodson gets hit with, that he almost rolls with, but he can't roll with them all the time. And you even see it as the fight continues, and Lineker's catching up with him, putting his hands up in the air, sprinting towards him. Dodson is super scared. And I think in those kind of scrambles, Corey Sandhagen is dead meat in a lot of the body shots that he throws and a lot of the punches that I think Yuri Alcantara had no problem landing a few, could land a few on the stand-up. But again, Corey Sandhagen has some nice weaponry when he does start spinning and when he does land his stuff, similar to TJ Dillashaw, I don't think he's as quick off the gun. And I don't think he'll be so dedicated in one kick that he'll do it constantly, like TJ Dillashaw did in the first Cody Garbrandt fight, where he just kept trying that high kick, kept trying it and missed it, and then finally landed it to get the knockout, to like lead up to the knockout. Like, I don't think Corey Sandhagen would be that dedicated in one move. But in a way, like, I still think he has similar weapons and he can do it. But yeah, it's gonna be a close one. I got Sandhagen in this one.
Yeah, I think he's got to play here. I just need to see this because I hate this girl, so I need to fucking see this. I'm sorry. She's the worst singer I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god.
Ooh.
You know Chromas or no? From Toronto.
Not as bad as Chanel West Coast.
Like 20 times worse, I think.
Oh man.
No. Chanel West Coast is fucking horrible. But this girl's 20 times worse. Okay, next up. Sorry, we talked about fucking music for a second, but I had to. Next up, Glover Teixeira versus Ion Cutelaba. And fucking, I love Cutelaba so much. He's one of my favorite fighters. Like, I love the guy, bro. He's such a fucking savage, bro. Like, absolute savage. The shit he does in the weigh-ins is just fucking, he's a savage, bro. He doesn't give a fuck who he's fighting. He really doesn't care, bro. And, like, when he used to come in as the Hulk, painted as the Hulk, like, that was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. He used to come completely green, his hair, everything, like, green, bro, like the Hulk. And then he just looks like the fucking Hulk because he's so jacked. It's stupid. And then today he came on the scales, showed a picture of Glover Teixeira, ripped it in half, and started screaming like a fucking madman.
I gotta see his weigh-ins.
You've never seen his weigh-ins?
No, I didn't see them.
Oh man, you gotta see them. They're so good.
You're telling me some stuff about it though.
Yeah, he's fucking. Go watch the one he just did, and like Teixeira goes up to him after Teixeira weighs in. Teixeira goes to shake his hand, and Cutelaba doesn't even flinch, bro. Doesn't even more than says like, "Go fuck yourself, bro." Like, I'm not even close to shaking your hand, and like Teixeira like takes it out, and Cutelaba is just giving him like the death stare, like, "I'm gonna fucking take your life, bro." I don't know. He's a scary man, bro. Very scary. Like, only reason I didn't play him, to be completely honest, is because like he's so wild. It's fucked. He's a wild man. He can definitely get knocked out in this fight. He's not like super calculated with his strikes. He's always pushing forward. He leaves his he takes a lot of shots too. But he's a pretty decent grappler and whatnot. I don't know who's the better grappler. I think because like Cutelaba did 12 years of Greco-Roman wrestling before he came into the UFC. He's a fucking high level wrestler. And but like how the fuck are you gonna, like, you know, Glover's like really high level. Like fucking even DC used to say like he's one of the best wrestlers and grapplers he's ever faced. And Glover gets you down, you're in trouble sometimes, man. He's pretty active on top. The only thing is, from what I've been seeing of Glover, it's this guy gets tapped with a shot and it looks like he's going down. Like, he gets fucked up now. He's getting fucked up by everybody, bro. Corey Anderson had him on a wobbly legs.
That's right. You're telling me that.
Carl Robinson fucked him up in the clinch with elbows. He almost got knocked out there if he didn't get the takedown. Gustafsson knocked him out. Anthony Johnson took his soul from him. Holy shit, bro. Did you ever see that Anthony Johnson knockout from a few years ago?
It was a long time ago.
Bro, that was like, what, from 2016?
Oh, it was a nasty punch. I remember that.
Oh, my God, man. Fuck. What a knockout that was.
That was as good as Derek Lewis's, like, overhand.
Yeah, oh, bro. That, like,
it was the uppercut, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's fucked up.
I do remember that.
And then,
man.
Bro, 2 minutes after the fight's over, Teixeira thinks it's still on, and he's trying to wrestle Dan Murgliata. He thinks the fight's still on, bro. And he's knocked out cold. He's trying to wrestle Dan Murgliata, and Joe Rogan's like, please don't let him stand up, guys. He's like, please don't let him stand up, bro. Like, this guy has no clue where he is. And Anthony Johnson's walking around the ring, like, screaming, and Glover Teixeira thinks the fight's still on.
That's nuts.
Oh, my. That's what he
got at the bar.
Bro, he got put into another planet, bro. I haven't seen a knockout like that in a long time.
There's been a few where people tackled the refs and really like, you know, they were still in it.
Oh yeah, like have
you ever seen where the guy went for like a heel hook on the ref?
I haven't seen.
Well, not went for it, but like he grabbed onto his leg and he was setting up for something. Like, whoa.
You see the one where the ref's like grabbing the guy from the back and he thinks it's his opponent that's taking his back and he rolls and shit. That's so good.
I remember the boxer punching up at a ref. That was pretty good.
Fuck. Yeah. So like Glover, like I said, bro, he's been knocked out like that. Like I haven't seen a knockout like that, and like to me, the worst knockout I've ever seen was Ngannou on Overeem. That's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Overeem
on anybody,
bro. But Ngannou on Overeem was in the fucking air for a second, bro. That's fucked up. He didn't even have anything on the mat. He was in the air, bro. That's fucked. That's fucking crazy.
That's true.
I got Cutelaba here, guys. Pretty much. I think he's gonna land one on Glover. I think he'll land one. This is another fight I'm not betting that it's gonna be fun for me to watch.
Yeah.
I got Cutelaba here. But Gib, I would play him on DraftKings. I think he's actually not too high at all. He's probably like 8,000 or a little bit less.
Yeah.
And can definitely get a knockout in the first round and get you like 120 points super quick.
I got Ion Cutelaba though, man, because similar to his Antigolov fight that I watched, because now even though Antigolov did lose his previous fight last week, I still think this guy's real tough a real tough grappling game. And when he wants to, he can be one of those stand-up guys, but obviously with him last week, when he goes through those takedowns, you know, he almost went right into Cutelaba's elbows and just short shots. And I think really has those in the pocket. And I think, again, it was that uppercut that Anthony Johnson landed that was the big critical shot in that fight. And Ion Cutelaba throws a lot of those. Doesn't care. He'll throw all day. I really want to watch that weigh-in, actually.
Yeah, you got to watch it when we're done here.
Just see him talk shit like that. Because Teixeira, something I read a little earlier, kind of was losing it in terms of like mentally for the fights and was kind of not really looking forward to it and was like, yeah, I'm kind of looking to retire.
Yeah.
But after his last win, he actually kind of got a second wind almost. I mean, again, if you get that W, why not? Why not ride out the storm? And I still think the Carl Robertson fight was a very impressive display, man. I mean, once he gets you to the floor, you could be in trouble. And I think Cutelaba would be too.
Oh, yeah. Cutelaba got subbed by Misha Serkinov, right?
Yeah. And you know what? Teixeira had no problem taking on Serkinov.
Yeah.
Even getting hit by
that's another guy he got wobbled on, though, right?
Yeah. He got wobbled a few times early, but he stayed cool, chilled, and once he got him to the floor, like the arm triangle was pretty easy. It seemed pretty easy for him.
He's really good at the arm triangle. The arm triangle is his go-to. Like he fucks people up with that. His squeeze is so tight. His squeeze is so tough.
And you know what? Misha Serkinov was able to put that on Ion Cutelaba, and it was nothing. No, and it wasn't a problem. Whereas I think if Glover got on him, it would be over. Just he'd climb up your body, get anything he wanted, choke, or he'd get a classic ground pound finish, and that'd be another W for him where he's going to keep going. So you're right, man. This is a very close one, but I still like Ion Cutelaba on this. I just think he's crazier. I think he's ready to get a knockout, but it could be that very attitude that fucks him over. And I almost think that Carl Robertson had that in his head before he got taken down. So this could be a very scary fight. But I got Ion Cutelaba to knock out Glover Teixeira in this one.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that? Audio. Hold on, I want to see if we can get that back for you. All right, we're back. Yeah, good.
So, Glover, now I'm thinking about it. Glover's smart, right? But so he should wrestle here. He should be wrestling here, in my opinion. And bro, you got to go look at Cutelaba versus Antigulov, like just when they're like when Bruce Buffer's announcing the names.
Oh.
And Cutelaba, like he does this in every fight, but against Antigulov was my favorite one. Like he just stares at his opponent like dead in the eyes, like he's gonna kill them. Walks to the middle of the ring and throws up his hand. It's like pretty much saying this is my octagon. And bro, Antigulov went up to him at the same time, and like they like pushed each other, bro. It was fucking sick. And even at the weigh-ins,
I think I skipped to the fight when I was doing tape on that. I'm gonna go watch that.
Yeah, fuck. Okay, so yeah, I also have Cutelaba. Oh fuck, we have 3 more. I actually have to run through this right now.
All right. Mike Perry and Alex Oliveira, man.
Yeah, Alex Oliveira. Okay, got 0.8 units on Oliveira here, parlayed with Roy Macdonald, Virna Jandiroba, and Gilbert Burns at plus 409, 0.8 units. It's like to win 3.25 or some shit. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe even less than that. But I think Oliveira here has a grappling advantage. First of all, that's just the first off. Just even though he's a blue belt and Perry's a purple belt, I think that should be switched around too. Because like you were saying yesterday, I think Oliveira's blue belt merits way more than
for sure.
Belt, you know, especially if Perry's getting that purple belt from Julian Williams. Like fucking, I'm sorry, Julian Williams, I love you, brother, but like, don't ever be saying like that merits more than the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belts. Like getting your belt in Brazil, like who knows? It could be like fucked up where you're training.
Is probably rolling with way higher level competition.
Yeah, man, black belts and shit, bro.
Again, that competition is rolling with better competition. So you have a high level like pool, whereas Mike Perry might not have access to that at all times. And
if we're talking about striking, I think Oliveira's also the better striker. He's got way crisper Muay Thai, if we're talking about that, right? He's got a nasty right hand. He's fucking dangerous. Mike Perry's the type of guy that's always coming forward, though, does not give up. Very tough. He's very strong. It's fucked up. He's very strong, to be honest, bro. And he can take a couple shots, bro. This guy can take a beating. I think Oliveira's going to finish him, though, in my opinion. Mike Perry, I showed you the video not too long ago, got lit the fuck up by Jared Gooden. Put it on his Instagram. No clue why he put that on his Instagram, but Jared Gooden, you guys want to check that out? Go watch Jared Gooden absolutely fucking murder Mike Perry in like sparring. Like, just fuck him up. Mike Perry has no idea what to do. Mike Perry got pretty tuned up against Mike Davis, who's a 145-pounder as well when he was sparring. And then the big thing is, looked like he was gonna fucking die this morning on the scales. He looked like he was about to die, bro.
Like, yeah, something
like couldn't even didn't even know where the scale was. First of all, no clue. That guy was putting his feet on the scale and he didn't know if it was there or not. Like his equilibrium was gone. And yeah, man, like fucking that's gonna be that. He even said it was his toughest weight cut to date.
Whoa.
And I don't know, man. Oliveira, like, especially at 170, he's been dangerous, bro. Definitely can get knocked out. Why I only have him in this 0.8 unit parlay instead of the 3-unit one. But, yeah, I like Oliveira here, man. I think he gets the job done. Gib?
You know what? I still like Oliveira's kickboxing, even though he does tend to throw a lot of things 3 to 4 times. Tends to rep them out a lot. And in that fight with Yancy Medeiros, man, he trades some very, very deadly bombs. And I think he has to be a little cautious in this fight with Mike Perry in the pocket because he could be a terror for him, similar to how Yancy Medeiros was. Because Yancy, I mean, he's really throwing punches and he's going berserk on you in a similar like fashion to Mike Perry in a way, but he has better jiu-jitsu and again better high-level stuff. And has some other weapons as well, which kind of float him. And I don't think Mike Perry has that, but I don't necessarily think he needs it with the type of style that he plays. I mean, he runs forward, takes shots, doesn't mind the leg kicks, and just goes for it, which a lot of people say that when it comes down to it, that's the only style you really need to have. Part of the reason why he won a very, very good split decision with Paul Felder. That fight was very impressive to me. Now, I understand that Paul Felder broke his hand during that fight, but the amount of fight that he had in him to go to the extra rounds and fight Perry on, that's pretty big. And Mike Perry was catching some good shots, but also returning them just as heavy. He beat up Max Griffin quite a bit, and Santiago Ponzinibbio, who still beat him with lots of jabs, lots of blitzing jabs. I just don't think Alex Oliveira can keep those jabs going. If he keeps the leg kicks going, he could do that. But again, I think Mike Perry might, grab or clinch a leg or get in close and start firing. And I don't think Oliveira needs those firefights. He needs to land that big straight cross right hand that he landed against Yancy Medeiros a bunch of times and rocked him, and use that to kind of to keep him away. And then if any of the jiu-jitsu happens on the floor, it's pretty much open season. You're dead. You're in way too deep waters to even do it. So again, I think there's more ways for Alex Oliveira to win this fight, especially if he goes for that leg kick, like you said, and keep that going. But I also think Mike Perry can get in close and land that big bomb that he always tends to land. I still think he beat up Roberts with it, and shit, man, he rocked him too, and I think he's pretty decent as well. So yeah, the Danny Roberts fight was rough. He did take a few in the beginning, but I mean, he's always ready with that hydrogen bomb of a right hand he has. So I got Mike Perry in this one, but there's way too many ways for him to lose, and that's just my opinion.
All right, go ahead and start us on our next one. Try and be quick because I gotta go, but just break down Greg Hardy and Dmitry Smoliakov, our co-main event.
You know what? I think this will be a really, really quick one for Greg Hardy. Now, I know he doesn't exactly have the ground game in this one, but Dmitry just does not have the hands that you want anyone to have. His hands seem to be really, really low. His fight against Luis Enrique just didn't look very good, and neither did his Cyril Asker fight. I just don't think a lot of his striking works. Maybe his ground game does. He's gotten lots of guillotines, Kimuras, and I'm sure he could definitely get another highlight reel choke or something on Greg Hardy. But I just think Greg Hardy has a little bit more than him. He just has a little bit more striking. He can throw the body shots when he has to. Sometimes he doesn't do it with a jab, which isn't wrong, but at the same time, he's just trying to plant a big bomb on you, and it could work against him as well. But he's very fast. He's very athletic. He's starting to catch MMA a little bit more. His last fight didn't look very good when he hit the floor, which, again, is something Dmitry is very good at. Could wreck him from absolute side control. But, against Alan Crowder, even the illegal knee, which I think he did because he kind of knew he was losing. And I don't know, maybe he just didn't know the rule set. I'm not sure, but it just didn't seem genuine, and I think that he will lose eventually, but I think this one's a very, very easy one for him to kind of lay up here. So I think he knocks him out.
Okay, so I just heard knock him out, so I'm guessing it's Greg Hardy.
Yeah, I think Greg Hardy knocks out Dmitry.
Okay, I also think Greg Hardy's going to finish Dmitry.
Too easy for him.
Kind of a setup fight here. Like, Dmitry was fighting in the UFC, got cut after 2 losses to probably 2 of the worst heavyweights ever in the UFC, especially Cyril Asker. Like, got finished by Cyril Asker in the first fucking round. That's embarrassing. But, like, from what I saw him on the regional scene or shit like that, like, Dimitri's got an all right top game.
Oh, side control? He can, like, Greg Hardy.
He'll rip your arm off. And, like, he's pretty heavy on top. He's got a good sub game, and he's a pretty decent grappler. He's a freestyle master of sport. And my computer just died.
Oh, man. So, Eddie's computer died. Shit. So, we're going to have to go on to our next fight, which is the main event. If he jumps back into chat, we'll see if we can link him up for this. Yeah, so Jacare Souza versus Jack Hermansson. This is the biggest fight of the card. I'm just going to go ahead and break it down really quick, and then we're going to try to set up the episode again, and we'll get Seb an opinion on the fight. So I think Jacare Souza is spectacular jiu-jitsu, and all around every fight seems like a split decision, very close. He beat a very in-tuned Chris Weidman and was able to punch him out. was able to fight Calvin Gastelum, fight against the punches, and we already saw what he did to Israel Adesanya in a very, very close fight. He's been really going up the ranks in that time, and you know, you always got to give it to the guy who put a stop to it. So, you know, Jacare Souza has definitely proven a lot. And before this, personally, I was very attached to Souza just because he was on like an 8 to 7 fight win streak, and they didn't even give him a title shot at the time. I beat Derek Brunson, Ed Herman, Chris Camozzi, Yushin Okami, Francis Carmot, Gegard Mousasi, Chris Camozzi again. And, you know, he only lost to Yoel, and it was a split decision. And right after that, he went right back to winning again. So, you know, this guy is definitely an uncrowned champion, man. I think this guy should have been a UFC fighter, UFC champ. Hell, maybe even a three belt holder in a division in a different universe. But this guy's crazy. Whereas Jack Hermansson, on the other hand, who I think has been getting really, really good as of late, put Gerald Meerschaert on his back. Very impressive stand-up as well. Likes to go for the ground and pound when he gets you there, and it's very difficult to get out. He's able to flatten people out when he gets that mount and go for the triangle body locks on people. He's very good at getting the back. Nothing that Jacare Souza hasn't seen before, high-level jiu-jitsu, but I still think that Jack Hermansson's got some deadly hands, some good ground and pound, and I think he'll be ready to go for it. Whereas I think Jacare is going to take a little bit longer to warm up, and even if he does, I think he'll always be susceptible to that one big knockout shot, especially after that Chris Weidman fight. That was just such a rough fight for him to take, and you know, it's going to be a rough fight for Jack Hermansson too. Don't get me wrong, but I just think Jack Hermansson can kind of rush in, and I mean, this guy when he goes toe to toe can be very, very difficult. He slammed up Santos up against the fence for a while. Now he did lose that fight, but again, Thiago Santos is fighting John Jones, so that's high level already. He landed some pretty slick stuff early, and he grappled him up a lot against the fence. He does some pretty decent strikes, and especially when he throws that uppercut constantly. He throws the uppercut like 2 to 3 times, and you can really get that when he clinches. He's got some good clinch work, elbows and knees as well. He's a good combination striker. I like Jack Hermansson in this one, and I actually think he shocks people here and beats Jacare. Let's see if we can get back here. Hold on. In case I can't, that is my prediction for Jacare Souza and the Jack Hermansson fight. We're going to actually patch this one together and see if we can salvage this and kind of get some added clips in here. And we'll see if we can put this up a little bit later. Thanks, everybody. And yeah.